Welcome to a new Football Manager 2015 experiment with me, Paul, otherwise known as Golden FM. After the amazing response on my experiment where I swapped the Barclays Premier League with the Conference North and South and all the other divisions around, I have decided to do another similar experiment. So on the last one I swapped all the divisions round and holidayed for about 40 years in total and did it in 7 parts. Now with this experiment I've done the same. In fact, I've just used the basis of the last experiment. Made a few changes due to reputation changes since the FM15 update came out, the winter update. But what I've done, I've also released every single player from every single team in those English divisions, from the Barclays Premier League all the way down to the Conference North and South, and also removed the managers. Now I've left the coaches, scouts, that sort of thing. I've not completely ripped apart the infrastructure of the teams. We're going to see in this experiment how these clubs cope without any players, without any managers. Who do they sign? Who do they bring in as their manager in the first season? See what impact it has on the leagues. Is there similarities? Will it be exactly the same as the last experiment? I don't think so. I think there'll be some differences. If there is, it's not the end of the world because loads of you enjoyed that anyway, and I'm sure a lot of you would like to see that sort of experiment once again. People were pretty upset that I finished it, and people just, there were so many likes on it. It was unbelievable. If you want part 2 tomorrow, if you can hit 300 likes on this video, which I'm sure you can because of the last series, then I will upload part 2 tomorrow. Now we will be doing more parts for this series probably. The first episode, today's episode, I will just be going 1 season into the future, and then after that perhaps increasing it to 2, 3, 5, 10, depending on where we are and how people lose interest, how quickly people lose interest. Once again, I've put the database on the Steam Workshop. The link will be in the description below. Click on that, download it, subscribe to it, and you can play this database on your game. I know a lot of you have been enjoying the other one. It was one of the most popular items on the workshop. It's got over 9,000 views, about 1,000 subscriptions, which is great. A lot of you must be enjoying that. Continue to let me know via Twitter or the videos as to how you're getting on that. Of course, I'm doing a North Ferriby Twitch save, so come over to Twitch, give me a follow. The link will be in the description below, and you can see me playing on that database with North Ferriby, the team that always seems to finish 21st in the championship. So just to prove that I've removed all the players, let's just look at AFC Fylde. They've got no manager, they've got no players, they're just greyed out fake players now. Now it'd be interesting to see the sort of players these teams sign, especially the teams in the Conference North and South with Premier League Championship teams. Well, they have money, of course. The one issue is financial fair play. Some teams will not be able to sign players, or as many players as they'd like, or the players to the quality that they would like, because of financial fair play. It's the first season. They've of course already made their transfers in real life. They don't have a huge transfer budget or a wage budget despite releasing a load of players. So signings will be probably not what you expect. They won't be signing Eden Hazard back probably because they won't be able to afford him. And these top teams will, in the Premier Division, will just be signing similar players, I guess, maybe just swapping players around from the other teams. And at the end of the first season, we'll have a look at some of the big names like Aguero and Hazard, see where they are on this save, just out of interest. You may notice there's a few differences in the teams in the top division. That's because of reputation changes. I have swapped them around. Chelmsford are now in the top division. Their reputation dropped, I think, on the update. A couple other teams as well have been swapped round between the Premier Division and the Championship. Anyway, we're going to holiday the first season and see the carnage that has occurred. So here we are, it's June 2015 at the end of the first season. And as always, we'll start with the Conference South and work our way up to the top. Now, I thought maybe there'd be a few differences in the teams going up, simply because Arsenal and Chelsea have lost all their players, meaning they don't have the likes of Hazard, they don't have the likes of Sanchez anymore. But quite predictably, I suppose you could see them still going up because they've got a bigger reputation, they'd have been signed better players. So Chelsea and Arsenal, Chelsea automatically promoted, Arsenal going up in the playoffs. Maybe not quite as big a difference this time round. They did score a hell of a lot of goals though. You can see top scorer for Chelsea was Troy Deeney, so you can see the changes that have been made in terms of the personnel of the clubs. It's very different to last time where we saw Hazard at the top, for example, or Sanchez, because they had those players, but they don't have them now. They're signing different quality players, but still good enough to go up. Tottenham, QPR and Southampton missed out in the playoffs. Now the only team to really struggle was Aston Villa. 8 points. I don't know what happened to them. Their manager is Nigel Pearson, and they finished bottom of the Conference South, meaning they're down into the obscurity of lower league football in England. If we look at their players, there's not really any recognisable names there. Let's look at their transfers. Most of them will be free. They did spend a total of 11k on players. So their biggest signing was Joe Wright from Bury Town. So it just shows how much of an impact it can have on certain teams. I don't know why it's had a massive impact on Villa. Maybe they just, because of financial fair play, they weren't able to sign certain players. No one went into administration. No one lost points. But they really struggled. Cardiff also went down. So the likes of Birmingham, who went down last time, and Brighton, I think, and I can't remember, was it Bournemouth or Brentford? They've survived this time. Let's look at transfers, and then we'll look at manager movements. So, biggest transfer, David McGoldrick going from Southampton to Liverpool. That's strange. So Southampton signed him on a free, and then he must have moved halfway through the season, possibly, or towards the end of the season. I don't know, but that's odd. Anyway, did very well for Southampton before moving to the Vanarama North with Liverpool. But that only 5 signings had money. The rest were all free transfers, as you would imagine, because most teams don't have the money to spend at this stage. So manager movements. These are the managers that were moved during this season. But we'll quickly whiz down the teams and see who's in charge now, out of interest, so you guys can have a look. This is why I'm doing one episode this season, because otherwise we'll be here a long time. We'll start with Arsenal. I think alphabetically are at the top. So they've got Camacho in charge. Their captain's Chris Cohen. Danny Bath is their assistant captain. Their key players, Danny Welbeck. So they re-signed him. He went back. They've still got rich finances and 4.5-star reputation. So you can see the differences in the quality now. But they did, of course, go up via the playoffs. Aston Villa, we've seen Nigel Pearson in charge. Birmingham had Mark Yates. Bournemouth have Paul Tisdale. Mark Smith is in charge of Brentford. Brighton have Mickey Adams. Cardiff have Liam Richardson. They of course went down, meaning their reputation has plummeted. Charlton have Steve Brown. Chelsea have Dick Advocat. Troy Deeney is their captain. Sean Morrison assistant. Phil Jones is their key player, so they signed him on a free because obviously he was released by Man United. It's on 35k a week. This could be really interesting, this series, because it could be completely different, or it could be similar with the same old teams going back up to the top. They probably will, but there may be some differences. We shall see. Maybe teams will take a bit longer to get to the top. They won't have that Premier League quality. A lot of them have signed Championship quality players. It may take a bit longer to get back to the top. Palace have Gary Johnson in charge. Fulham have Terry Bullivant. Ipswich have Peter Taylor. Millwall have Martin Ling. QPR have Dave Penny. David Bentley. Oh no, it's different. I thought it was David Bentley. It's got confused again. Daniel Bentley is their captain. Remember him from the last series. Reading have no manager at the moment. Mason Bennett is their key player. Southampton have John McMahon in charge. Swansea have Dean Smith. Tottenham have Johan Neeskens, a Dutch player, manager. Diego Poye is at that team. John Stones is their key player. Watford have Simon Hayward. West Brom have Graham Wesley. West Ham have Billy Davies. Is that the last one? Let's have a look. Yeah. So there we go, guys. We'll go up to the Conference North now. So Man United won the league. Only 2 points ahead of Liverpool, but they went up via the playoffs as well. Everton, Newcastle and Stoke missing out in the playoffs. Nottingham Forest, Bolton and Sunderland going down. Now there's 3 teams going down. There's 22 teams in the Conference North at the start. Only 21 in the Conference South. I think that changes next season. There should be more teams coming up. Top scorer, Chris O'Grady for Everton. I think we saw that last series, but later on in the series. So it's almost like we've pushed it back a few years. This time around, 33 goals for Everton as well. Charlie Austin's at Man United with 26. Jack Hunt, top average rating, Liverpool. Where did he come from? Barnsley or Palace? He was on loan at Barnsley. Interesting. Top average rating and most assists as well, along with Mark Little of Stoke City. Crazy, really. So let's we'll just have a quick look at the transfers, see if there's any difference. We saw David McGoldrick and Max Clayton last time. There's only 3 signings had any money involved in it. Manager movements during the season, this is what happened. But we'll have a look at the teams. Who's top of the alphabet? Not sure. Possibly Blackpool. We'll go down anyway from Blackpool. So Jamie Hoyland's in charge of them. Bolton have Nathan Tyson. Burnley have Trevor Challis. Derby have Steve McLaren still. Oh, they must have re-signed him. I don't think I missed him out anyway. If I did, then whoops. But I think they must have just rehired him. We do get that. Derby. Okay, so Everton have Paul Mariner. Huddersfield have Chris Lucchetti. John Eustace is their key player. Hull City have Derek Fazacali. And then we've got Leeds with Chris Wilder. Leicester with John Dreyer. Liverpool have Jamie Carragher in charge. So he's been added as a manager since the update, I think. And Jamie Carragher is the manager of Liverpool. Kieran Trippier is their key player, and they've got Connor Wickham as captain. Man City have Gary Monk in charge. Wow. And Max Clayton is their key player. So they've struggled. They finished 11th. That may be money problems. We'll see how they do next season, I guess. Then we have Man United with John Coleman in charge. And their key players, Stephen Coulker, Lee Cattermole is their captain. But they, of course, top the table, so it hasn't affected them despite having less quality players. Andy Porter in charge of Middlesbrough, Abdel Nabi is their key player. Newcastle with Roberto Martinez and Johnny Howson is their key player. Gary Taylor-Fletcher is their captain. Norwich have Stuart Gray, Glenn Murray is their key player. Martin Allen in charge of Forest. Sheffield Wednesday in charge, Robert Dobson in charge of Sheffield Wednesday. Stoke have Russell Slade in charge. Sunderland have Liam Watson. Ebanks Blake is their key player. Of course, they were relegated, bottom of the table. What's going to happen to them? Wigan have Nigel Adkins. They finished 6th. Wolves have Simon Bassey. Blackburn. Colin Lee's in charge of Blackburn. They survived this time round. And that's it. Wow. We won't look through all the teams higher up, but just to show you the managers in charge of these bigger teams at the bottom of the table, you can see the difference in the quality compared to last time, and it may have an impact. Of course, I've taken the players from every single team, so it may level out. It may be a similar process to last time, but we shall see. Hopefully you find it interesting. So Conference Premier was won by Bradford. Peterborough went up in the playoffs. Walsall, Crawley, Yeovil and Notts County going down. Top scorer Luke Norris with Doncaster. Nicky Shorey, top average rating for Rotherham. League 2 then. Let's have a look. Wickham, top of the table. Shrewsbury second. Southend third, going up in automatic place. Southend did well last time as well, actually. I think Wickham did. Carlisle going up via the playoffs. Burton and Dagenham and Redbridge were relegated. Top scorer Dan Holman for Shrewsbury. Where was he previously? Colchester, sort of similar level team than I guess. Dropping down one division from real life. Gareth Gwilym was the top assist and top average rating. Where was he? So he was at Ebbsfleet. So he's actually moved up a division compared to real life. Let's go up to League 1, which was won by Bristol Rovers. They ran away with it, in fact. Only lost one game all season. Wrexham second. Grimsby going up in the playoffs. Woking, Dartford, Dover and Macclesfield going down to League 2. Top scorer, only 14 goals for Andre Gray and Emerick Hiplas. Bristol Rovers scored 99 goals, but their top scorer is only 14. So we'll have a look at their team. It might be well balanced. Bristol Rovers have Sam Allardyce in charge. Maybe that's why they went up. So he's gone there. I wonder how much he's on a week. Look at his contract. He's on 1.7k a week, which is nothing really compared to what he's on at West Ham in real life. Insecure Finances 2 stars, but it didn't affect them getting promoted, did it? They've done well. So what players did Bristol Rovers bring in? They've got Kelvin Davis there. Goals wise, top scorer James Constable, Andre Gray, David Norris, average rating. Gary Jones. Well, Sam Allardyce has got Bristol Rovers promoted to the Championship, so well done to him. Well done to Bristol Rovers. Let's go up to the Championship, which was won by Stockport, going up. Big money for them in the Premier League next season. Boreham also going up with 83, and Harrogate also going up in the playoffs, beating Guiseley, Sutton United and Boston United. Hednesford, Altrincham and Farnborough going down. Quite a way behind Solihull Moors in 21st. But North Ferriby up in 10th. Yes, well done. Top scorer once again very low. Not a huge number of goals scored. It's quite strange really. Not many goals scored at all. We saw this last time in the first couple of seasons. So let's look at the top scorer. Ryan Lim for Boreham. Where was he? He was at Lincoln. So he's dropped down. Well, technically he's gone up a couple of divisions, hasn't he? From Lincoln. Top average rating was Greg Oates. Did any Championship teams spend any money though? That's the big question. There was 2 signings that had money spent on their manager movements. Michael Appleton left Barrow. Chris Powell was in charge of Ebbsfleet, but he's gone now. Yeah, we'll look at some players, real big star players, Premier League players, see where they are on this save in a minute. Once we've looked at the Premier League, Lowestoft are the champions of England. 12 points clear of Leamington as well. They only scored 52 goals, which isn't a huge number really. Second place Leamington, 40. Only 6 ahead of Hayes and Yedding, who were relegated. Now that's big. Concord Rangers, Hayes and Yedding, Hemel Hempstead relegated. Hayes and Yedding won it the first time round last time. Completely switched around, so it really has had some sort of impact. Chelmsford City all the way up in 3rd. They were relegated very soon, all the way down last time. So the key facts here: Lowestoft, Leamington, Chelmsford and Staines, Champions League football. That is massive for all 4 of them. They should be rich. Let's look at them. Lowestoft rich, 1.5 star ability. But if we look at Hemel Hempstead, they are also rich. So I think most of these teams are rich now, thanks to the money. Oxford City are rich. Hyde, let's look at them quickly. Rich. They will all have stadiums being built or expanded at this stage to fit Premier League standards. If we look at Hyde, for example, and go to their schedule, they will have been playing Ewan Field. Oh, maybe not. I thought they'd be playing in it. Oh, that's Capital One Cup. That's why. Oh, maybe not. I thought they would have to play away from the stadium because they don't have a big enough thing. But that's what we saw last time. Maybe it's changed on the update. I don't know. Anyway, they are playing at their own stadiums. Maybe they're being expanded. Maybe they're not. We'll see in a couple of years' time, I guess. But well done to Lowestoft, champions of England. They've got Craig Fleming in charge. Let's look at their team. They still have some fake players in there. That is massive because, of course, they probably didn't have enough money to spend or to sign players. So they'll gradually get some real players back in. They've probably got some regens now that will come through at some point. But their top scorer had 2 goals. What's happened there? Maybe it's a fake player that was actually their top. Look at these guys. So they probably were the ones that got the goals because they're actually playing up front, but we can't see how well they did, which is interesting in itself. I wonder what happened now they're in Champions League football. Will they actually just spend big on some players? I don't know. Sean Collins was top scorer for Staines. Only 11 goals in the Premier League. But I don't know if that's excluding those fake grey players. We've really messed with this game. We really have, haven't we? Here's some stats for you just to look at. What's happened to the profile? It's number 2, but that will drop, I'm sure, over time. Okay, let's look at some star players. Eden Hazard is at Roma. So obviously they signed him for free, which is brilliant. 90k a week. Aguero. A lot of these players probably won't even have clubs. No, Aguero doesn't have a club. Like, there's only a certain number of teams that will be able to afford these players, and if they can't afford them because of financial fair play, then they're going to not have teams for a while. One Mata, for example, probably won't have a team. Nope. Who else? Company? Let's go for Company. He's at Barcelona, so those are the sort of teams that are going to sign these star players. David De Gea, is at, oh, Dnipro. That is random. So he's decided to just go there. 10.25k a week as well. So some players have decided, well, I'm just going to play football for whoever. Courtois, no team. Who else can we look at? David Silva. He's got no team either. I'll try and remember to upload the save as well and put that in the description below, so you can just look at the end of the first season and see where certain players have gone, see where managers have gone yourself. So just load that up into your game and you can have a look. Yeah, I'll be kind and do that for you guys, so you can just have a look what's going on. So let's look at the FA Cup. As usual, do the standard things and go down. The English FA Cup won by Tottenham 2-0 against Arsenal in the final. Let's see the goal scorers. Berahino, who went to Tottenham, obviously on a free as well. Need to look at the England team as well, whilst we remember. And Capital One Cup then was won by Bristol Rovers 2-1 against Lincoln. That is good to see, a different winner. Bristol Rovers, of course, won League One. They've also won the Capital One Cup, so a good season for them. Jake Newton with the winning goal. Let's go down. Community Shield won 2-1. Arsenal against Man City. Just look at some of the players here. Sam Johnstone is in charge. They've got Chris Solly, Cohen, of course, we knew about. Callum McManaman, Dele Alli, Wonder Kid. Man City had this guy in goal, Tony Warner, 41-year-old. There's just no names there that you recognise, really, is there? The Man City team has been destroyed. But I guess this is right at the start of August as well, so they may have signed some players since then. River Coulson, a fake player, maybe. I guess he is. Well, I don't know. Maybe he's real. Anyway, that's what happened in the Community Shield. Johnson's Paint Trophy was won by Gateshead in extra time against Southend United. English FA Trophy, got the proper name this time. Chelsea won 3-0 against Man United in the final. Troy Deeney with 2 goals and Ryan Bertrand with another. Man United have the likes of Butland, Billy Jones. Oh, Butland had a poor game. Jack Cork's there. Ryan Bennett, Sessegnon. Harry Kane is at Man United. He's been improved on the update as well. He's got 2 caps for England now. Let's look at the England team then. So Roy Hodgson is in charge. Wayne Rooney's at Lazio. This is a good way to look at some of the main England players and see where they are. So John Ruddy's at Liverpool. Fraser Forster, Newcastle. Butland. Michael Keane's in the England team. He's at Man United. He's gone back to Man United, I guess. Gareth Barry's at Liverpool. Jagielka's at Liverpool too. Gary Cahill, Marseille. Klein's at Chelsea. Leighton Baines at Juventus. Aaron Creswell at Tottenham. Trippier, Liverpool. Well, it's the usual names in there. Most of the usual names you'd expect. Adam Johnson, Arsenal. Wayne Rooney is at Lazio, like we saw. Charlie Austin, Man United. Daniel Sturridge is at Tottenham. That's the big signing for them. Tottenham have signed some good players, and they only just missed out going up, didn't they? Just out of curiosity, we'll look at the Champions League, which was won by Real Madrid against Barcelona in the final. So let's see who scored. Ronaldo 2 goals, Neymar with the other. But we'll look at the English teams, because there are the likes of Chelsea. Liverpool missed out on their group. Of course, they don't have as good a team. Nor did Arsenal. They finished 3rd. Man City were bottom of their group. They did really poorly. Chelsea were 3rd as well. So 3 teams went through to the Euro Cup and the Europa League, which was won by Wolfsburg 1-0 in the final against Lille. But let's go back a bit, see if there's any English teams here that made it. Liverpool lost in the quarters against Seville. Second knockout round. Chelsea lost. Arsenal lost as well. The first knockout round. You can have a look yourself. So there we go, guys. I think that's the end of this first part. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, 300 likes and I'll put part 2 up tomorrow. And then from then on, every day or every couple of days I will do one. The next episode will be... We'll do 1 season once again, I think. And then after that we'll increase it maybe to 2 or 3. But thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Check out all the links in the description below. Ah yes, the music in the background of this video was by my friend Thomas Kelsey, who I used to live with at uni. I'll put a link to his channel and to the music in the description below. So if you're interested in that, if you liked it, check it out and give him a sub. Maybe tell him that I sent you over. Thanks guys, I'll see you in part 2.